We move on to day two, and today was the second day since recovering from my virus. And the main aim was literally just, without sounding too graphic, just not to poop myself, to be completely honest. um, Still, taking each lift at a time, not going too heavy, but still following the protocol that has been set by my coach. So we start things off with my squats, and we've had two approaches that I mentioned in my previous video when it comes to doing the squats. Depending on how I feel, I can either go for an EMOM, so on the minute, every minute, 3 reps, just move them nice and quick, or I can take this weight for an AMRAP for as many reps as I can, but still leaving at least 3 reps in reserve. So I opted to go for the latter, um, especially where it's been a while after deload since I've done the AMRAP, with my knee playing up in particular as well. But now that my knees actually had some rest, I actually felt good squatting. So this was 105 kilos. This was my first set. I did 10 reps and that felt absolutely fine. So I thought I'd just do the exact same on my second set. Ironically, my second set actually felt a lot easier, but unfortunately, I didn't um, have my intellect with me as well, as my counting was slightly off. I thought I did 10 reps here, but I did 9. um, Quite typical when you're powerlifting, especially where we always get the stereotypical judgment of not doing anything beyond 5 reps, and anything beyond 5 reps then counts as cardio. So the counting can be a little bit off, and I'm here to prove that with this one. I genuinely thought I did 10 reps until I looked back on the phone, and then I realized that I did 9. Um, yeah, it's a bit annoying, but it is what it is. But it felt fine nonetheless, and that's the main thing. Then we move over to the deficit snatch grip deadlifts. Again, main aim here is to just move a weight that felt fine, didn't really tax the body too much. Um, and I guess just shows that once you really focus as hard as you can to not poop yourself, the weights actually feel very light. So that was 160, nice and easy. Usually with my back off sets, I actually just take the weight down by about 20 kilos or so. But in this case, again, I'm just kind of getting myself back into it. Don't want to overdo it. I don't want to stress myself too much. So I decided to go even lighter. Ended up going to 120. And usually I'll do 3 back off sets, but I just decided to do the one. So again, my counting was not present today. And instead of doing 6, I did 7, because I was convinced that I didn't do 6. So therefore, I needed to do one more rep, which then took me to 7. So when I actually logged this in on my training app, it counted it as a PB. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll take it. Even though it's like a very light PB, it doesn't really mean anything to me, to be honest. But a win is a win. I'm not complaining. And I wanted to do touch and go. I remember saying before that whenever I did my back off sets, for some reason I just couldn't really get into the right position, despite going a little bit lighter. But that may also be to do with the fact that I'm a little bit more fatigued. So, just trying to recreate that position that I can get when I'm a lot more fresh becomes a bit more of a challenge. So in this case, especially with the weight being a little bit lighter, I kind of decided to um, maintain that position all the way through and try to hone that position in. So now we move over to the accessories. Again, I kept everything relatively light at about an RPE 6, 7, just enough so that I can feel a bit of a pump into the muscle, but nothing too crazy to where, again, I'm going to be too taxed and this is going to impact my recovery. Literally this week is just all about kind of expanding on the deload and then moving on from there. So now what you see me do here as I get ready for the deficit Bulgarian split squats, I'm using something called a BFR cuff, so blood flow restriction. And I've decided to introduce this into my training, especially when I'm doing my deadlift days, because my deadlift days is the day where I actually tackle or target my quads more and my accessories. Because with everything that's happened with my knee, I kind of wanted to see if it would help with recovery. So, long story short, how the cuffs work is that they restrict blood flow going to the working muscle. And basically, it just makes your muscles work more with less oxygenated blood. So, once you take the cuffs off, you get that whole rush of fresh red blood cells into that muscle, thus helping recover, I should say, rather. So hopefully in this case, with my tendonitis, especially where my quad is, well, the tendonitis is caused via my tight quad. Hopefully that will just help ease things off, especially where I won't be lifting as heavy, because you can still get some crazy benefits whilst going light or using the cuffs. So I'm going to experiment with this for the next few weeks, probably see out the rest of my block, because I've got another 3 to 4 training weeks to go. And hopefully, that will put me in a good position to then, really start knuckling down and get closer to my European Championships in June. So thanks for watching, like, share, and subscribe.